So we stayed at the Fontana Hilton shelter last night, and they have bathrooms that actually have showers, and there's outlets that you can charge your things at, but unfortunately they're only in the men's room for some reason. But we were still able to charge up, no problem, and we're heading into the Smokies today. So today's a big day, super excited. Crossing Fontana Dam. We got the permit. We're at the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Feel a lot heavier today because we also have 7 days of resupply for the Smokies. Although we did just find out that there was a place where you can resupply halfway into the Smokies that we didn't know about. But either way, we're prepared. We had some crunchy peanut butter and tortillas. Not bad. We made it to Shuckstack Tower, and these are the stairs that lead to the top, and there's probably a beautiful view up there. I feel like I'm in the sky. Shelter, so we're gonna stay there tonight, cook dinner, and I think we're just gonna hit the hay because we are exhausted. All I know. Day 2 of Great Smoky Mountain National Park, and this is what my tent looks like. This is usually what it looks like every night. When I'm done hiking, I have a tendency of bringing my bag in my tent and just tossing everything around, and then I somehow sort it out the next morning. Today we're probably going to be doing 17 miles, and it just started raining, so I am going to pack up my tent now. Been good at telling stories, yeah. You're working around. So we're up and out of the shelter. We stayed at Molly Ridge Shelter last night. Today, I think we're gonna stay, is it called Sister Bald or Siler Bald? I think it's called like Sister Siler Bald something mountain shelter gap, whatever. But that's where we're staying tonight. It's like 17 miles away. Well, we're gonna shoot for it. And if we don't feel like doing the 17, then there's another shelter that's 12 miles away from here. So, could go either way. We're wet. I woke up at like 6:30 and it wasn't raining. And I was honestly debating about taking my setup down or not. But then I decided not to. And I went back to sleep. And then, of course, the minute that I wake back up, it's raining. Because that's just how it always works out, you know? So everything's cool though. We heard from a couple people at the shelter that the rain's gonna stop around 10 a.m. and then it shouldn't be returning for the rest of the day, which is nice. And we're gonna see what sights there are to see in the Great Smokies today. Last night, went to sleep at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. It was a long day. I think coming off of the zero and the short day, it was just hard to get back into it. But we are back into it. So let's do this. We just got to Spence Field Shelter, and that's where we're gonna refill our water bottles and go to the bathroom, and then we're gonna hit the trip again. To the top of Rocky Top Mountain, and now we're heading for Thunderhead. Oh, this is how wet it was today. My socks are gross. My feet are pruned. I got calluses the size of my freaking thumb. We just got to Siler Bald Shelter. The shelter's full, but I am in my tent right now. I just set it up on the hill. This is probably like the last spot that you could possibly fit a tent at this shelter. At the moment, it's pretty wet in my tent, so I'm kind of swimming here, but hopefully the sun dries it up tomorrow. It is so windy this morning that it's painful. We should be reaching Clingman's Dome today.
Standing in my own belief, swinging from the willow tree, sun is shining, spotlight over me. Bet you I'm the only one to see what's really going on beneath. Feels like starting over until it's over.
We hit the 200-mile mark, right in the Great Smokies. How you feel about it?
Like a real day.
And that's my celebration gift. Thanks.
Before it's over.
Realizing we probably should have brought more food to get us through the Smokies, we decided to resupply at a Walgreens in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. We stood at the nearest Gap and got a hitch pretty easily after Klingman's Dome, which is the highest point of the AT elevation-wise and also the 200-mile marker. We decided to stay the night since we were losing daylight anyways. Just a tip, if you're looking to save money, many hikers are looking for other hikers to split hotel costs, especially in towns with no hostels or camping options nearby. Once we were there, we split a room at the Days Inn with a couple other hikers, showered, did laundry. We made it back to the Smokies the next day.
So we just got back on trail from town, and the plan is to hike to Peck's Corner, which is about 10 miles from here. So we'll probably do that and stay there in that shelter for the night. In Gatlinburg, we got some pizza, we got some beer, some french fries, some snacks, lots of snacks. Actually, my bag is stuffed tight today. Sometimes when you're on trail and you have bad days or you just don't feel like being there, the best thing for you to do is get off the trail, go into town, and just kind of reintegrate back in society for a second. Yeah, and have a beer. Took the shuttle from the NOC in Gatlinburg back to Newfound Gap, and there was a church group there who was giving some trail magic out. There was some fruit, some candy, things like that. And yeah, thank you, Sam and Kay. We'll see you at Trail Days. We resupplied with enough food to carry us into Hot Springs, North Carolina. So back there on that Tennessee-North Carolina state line, we technically were in Tennessee, but I think as we're going through the Smokies, it kind of just hugs the border. So we'll probably be in between the two for a little bit. We just keep trucking along. Smiles, not the miles, as they say.
Here's to starting over. Here's to starting
Peck's Corner shelter. We got another 6 miles today. Just came back from Charlie's Bunyan. Pretty creepy incline there to go on to the other side of the Bunyan. So I don't know, call me a scaredy cat, but I got over the first rock and that was about it for me. So beautiful views out there though. And same with this hike. I'm so glad that it's a beautiful day.
The Smokies was the first time I felt like I really got my appetite back. Since the beginning of the trail, I hadn't been as hungry as I usually am, and you'd think I'd be starving after all the miles I'm putting in each day. It was a good thing we figured out how to get a resupply in Gatlinburg, because what was supposed to be 6 to 7 days worth of food ended up lasting 3 days. It takes a while to get in a groove and know what's going to work for you when you resupply, how much food, what kinds of snacks, how to pack it all. Each time it gets a little easier out here, like with everything else.
We got 2 more miles until Peck's Corner shelter. Gorgeous views coming up to the shelter. Gonna make some dinner. I think Lauren's talking about making some jambalaya rice and probably stick that in some tortillas, and then I'll probably just do ramen because I didn't have ramen last night and I packed out a lot of ramen. So my theory is try not to have the same thing 2 days in a row. So changed my mind and I made some rice. I got a tortilla and some vegan buffalo dill jerky. So I'm gonna make a little burrito. I'm pretty sure that tonight will be the last night that we sleep in the Smokies. If we end up making this 20-mile day, we'll be sleeping at Davenport Gap Shelter, and then we just got a few more miles to go, and then we have finished the Smokies. So, long day today, and it's beautiful out, so let's get it. Alright, so we've done probably about, 10 miles now? We've done 10 miles. It's 1 o'clock, and we're just taking a little break-see, and then we're gonna be doing the other 10. So we're about, 5.2 miles away from Davenport Gap, where we actually plan to sleep tonight. And then Mount Camera Trail. There's a fire tower that way. We didn't factor in this little off trail into our day, so we might actually end up having to pull the headlamps out tonight, but yeah, here we go. Apparently it's the best view in the Smokies. Davenport Gap Shelter, where we stayed last night, and last night was our last night that we spent in the Smokies. We're walking about 3 more miles right now, and that's technically the end of the Smokies. Last night we slept in our first shelter. We've been tenting it this whole time, but there wasn't really any good spots to set up a tent. It was pretty rocky, and then the flat area was the toilet area, and you don't really want to set up your tent in the toilet area because people do their business there, and there's icky nasty toilet paper all around. So we slept in the shelter. It wasn't too crowded. There was probably about 10 of us, and it was actually the first shelter that I've seen that had like a fenced-in cage around it, which is also kind of creepy because you wonder if there's just like significant bear activity in this area compared to other shelters. I don't know. Lauren also just said that maybe it's because the shelter is closer to town, and it seems like the bears gravitate towards the town. Trash bears, they call them, you know, digging through the trash. Actually, when we slept at a hotel in Gatlinburg, somebody who we took a shuttle with back to the trail the next morning said that they saw a bear rummaging through the trash in the little breezeway of the hotel. Pretty active over there, but it was a good night's sleep, and you know, everyone has to have their first AT shelter experience. Ours just happened to be after the 200-mile mark. This is the drop box that people will be putting their permits in if they were going this way. But we came in the other way, so this is officially the end of the Smokies. Here we are, we freaking made it. We hear that there's a place called Bean Tree Cafe that we want to check out. So we're heading towards Standing Bear now, and hopefully we'll get a hitch to the cafe. And we'll have some nachos and some burgers. And then I think we're gonna get back on trail and start hiking.